I had trouble with adding machine tape, but Nick came in, so you could have used that as toilet paper.
I know.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
All right, ladies, you're scaring me now.
We got to do what we got to do.
There you go. Well, dearly beloved, I got one after 11. Let's get going. So, January, BP roundtable discussion. Thank you for all that are here so far. Just to give a little bit of a recap, Jim already shared some of this, but this is 2017 numbers. We're looking, and we were down a little over $2 million in the BP division. I will tell you this though, based off of Ascendant and SP purchases, we were down from the previous year, but where Ascendant had us pegged for the year of only doing 8 million, we did close to 8.3 million. And so we're seeing numbers go in the right direction there. On our SP side, though, we were down about 700,000 from the previous year. The reason I share these numbers with you is mainly because y'all need to know what the impact is as far as the overall business. Keeping in mind, we have rebates in place with the wholesalers that we haven't had before that we're trying to get. And the main reason I can't stress enough about these numbers primarily is because this is what will allow us to grow our BP business on the back end as far as expanding. I know a lot of partners see the front end of, well, I'm doing this, for marketing and I'm doing that. Well, there's a lot of back end operations that go on as well that help you survive on a daily basis. So, for example, right now we're in a freight war a little bit, or freight discussion, should I say, with SP because they released their new freight terms this past week, and of course it's got an increase. Where Ascendant has got a better freight plan overall, which is surprising. Ascendant's normally the one who's out of whack. Now we've got SP out of whack, so we're working to get some of those numbers down so that those first call SP partners who are dealing with freight issues, we can get you a little bit more margin. Remember, more margin for you equals more margin for Indoff, and it's a happy gang all the way around. So that's where, the back end, that's some of the stuff that we're working on. That's why it's really important that our partnership with our wholesalers is whole as much as possible. So I just wanted to share those numbers with you real quick. This is a good time to go over reports. How many of you are actually pulling reports for 2017 to see what you've done? How many of you use this?
I do, Mike.
Okay.
I do too.
Okay. There's three main reports that we really ought to focus in on. And if you need some help understanding these, let me know. I'll be glad to show them to you. But your partner customer analysis report, this is the lifeline of your business. This is like your balance sheet. If you were the CEO, CFO, and of your business, this is what you would actually look at to see, all right, what am I doing in this division? What am I doing in all the other divisions? It kind of gives you, the pulse of where your business is at. How many of you pull this report? Do you?
No.
Not as much as I should.
Okay. I challenge you to pull this report every month. Because does everybody know what this report is? You want me to show it to you real quick?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. I've got it pulled up somewhere. Hold on a sec. All right. You see my screen okay?
Yep.
Okay. This gives you a little bit of everything. This shows you your three different divisions if you're in 3 different divisions, some of you are only in 1, some of you are in 2. But this will show you roughly what your sales are, shows you what your aging report is, shows you how you got your orders, and then it'll break down on a monthly basis the number of sales orders you created and what your margin is overall. The other part of this report that I really like is this. It shows you the breakdown as far as the order values. So this is really, important when you're looking at your overall business as far as how many customers do you have that are nickel and diming you for, I just need a case of paper. Well, they don't realize that case of paper costs quite a bit to get into the system. Anybody got any questions about this? Okay. One of the other reports, let's see if I can find it real quick. Your secured report. You ought to be pulling this actually every week. This gives you an idea of what you're doing monthly, where you're at, where your margins are at. So that's a good tool to have as well. So if you're not pulling this report, you might want to.
That's a great report, Tom. It really lets you know where you're at as far as your profit.
Exactly. And it's easier to fix things going forward rather than looking back and trying to fix them. So many times we try and do that. Other report that you want to really pull is the customer margins. This way you can actually see, I pulled this for the end of year to see roughly who's got good margins and who doesn't. That way I can see what cherry picker I've got. So for example, I've got one company here who only thing they buy is copy paper from me. This one, for example, the Consensus Group, they only buy copy paper from me. That's all they want to buy. Okay. That simple case of copy paper that I sell everybody else for $38.99, I sell to them for $48.99.
Mm-hmm.
So there's little things like that you really need to be in tune with, so you make sure that you're not getting gouged or anything, from that standpoint. So has anybody got any questions about those reports that I just showed?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Moving back into our update here. Hold on. Come on. Start back up. There we go. All right. Our HP. Several of you have taken part of the HP program with the incentives that we put out in October for November and December. We had about 19 defend deals come about. Susan Roldan was really good with this. Susan, would you wind up with 4 or 5 total?
4 of them.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
So the good thing about that is Susan got $100 spiff from Endoff for each one of those that closed. Not to mention, she's also locked down her account for the entire year where they really won't price shop her on HP product. And she's locked down the cost with Azerty that there won't be a price increase in July or in December on those items because she's locked them in for a complete year. So good job, Susan, on that. The other ones are the win-back deals. Now, the win-back is where customers were buying a mix of HP and Reman toners, and HP worked out off the usage where customers will switch from the Reman into the regular HP toner. They get a better price on that. But this deal actually was really unique because HP put money towards this, and each one of these partners who partook in it will receive $1,000 on their commission checks at the end of February. So, for example, Barb had 2 of these win-back deals, which was awesome. Chris, do you have 1 or 2?
1.
Yeah, 1. I had 1. Simply just by pulling our HP numbers and seeing where we were at, this was unique. So we've never really had that cohesiveness with HP before like we do now. So in keeping up with our reporting as well, we've been able to actually move up from silver status to gold status for 2018. And I know that probably doesn't mean a lot to you guys or anything, but overall, when you look at the HP overall mix of our entire business, we do about $2.8 million in sales of just HP product alone, based on that $25 million overall sales in BP. So that's a good chunk of our business that we want to make sure that we're supporting. We really want to support those through the Ascendant and SPR because that's where our rebates come from. So if you've got customers that you're buying HP through Supplies Network, for example, you might want to consider switching them over to the wholesaler because it gets more rebate money and more incentives of marketing for us overall that we can go and do. So want to keep that in mind as well. Any questions before I move off the HP subject?
Nope.
Okay. New cart update. Many of you realized the first week of January we had to have a big push to tell your customers how to log in differently to the cart. We had to issue them a 4-digit code. If it was Ascendant first call, it was 7950. SPR was 7715. The major reason we did this is because we separated the cart into two platforms. We had a unit of measure issue between SP and United on about 2,000 items. This rectified that problem, and now we don't have that unit of measure issue anymore. And I know that this caused a little bit of confusion, but with the 18 to 20 partners that we have on the cart right now, this was a good time to do that before we grew any more. So I'll go ahead and apologize if anybody, was overwhelmed with that. This is an unforeseen thing, but it was easier to fix it now than it would have been later on. So this.
Hey, Tom, it's Clifford. I just.
Go ahead.
Just wanted to say that it was seamless because all they're doing is just thinking that their account number is 7950. So it was really no problem at all.
Well,
so they just know they have to put the 7950 in. So that was a good thing.
Yep. For those of you who don't know, Cliff's our new partner out of the San Francisco Bay Area. He's got a lot of promising business.
Welcome, Cliff.
What this allows us to do, though, for example, is our marketing for the Ascendant partners, we can actually put universal product on the shopping cart now. And that's one thing you'll start seeing more of. And then on the SP side, we'll be able to put the Sparco product listing on there. Before, we were only listing major manufacturers that crossed over to both wholesalers. Now we can open it up a little bit more. Next thing we're talking about is the next few weeks, you're going to see EndorphBusinessProducts.com get a little bit of a refresh. I told you guys about every year we're going to refresh this cart. We're not going to let it sit there idle for 5 years and just not refresh the front page. We're going to refresh it. And what we're doing is going with a little bit more of a green color. We're compacting it down so you don't have to scroll up and down the entire thing. And what we're doing is making it a little bit more user-friendly and faster on different items.
Hey, Tom.
Yep.
Mike, when you're going to refresh that site, are you talking about the landing page or are you talking about the GOPD cart?
The landing page only. Since the cart is updated weekly with different product and then colors monthly, we're just talking about the landing page for right now.
Got it. From a GOPD standpoint, one thing that I have encountered repetitively is if a client puts their information in the cart, they leave and they come back, that shopping cart is parked, but it is not able to be seen visually when you open the page. You have to scroll down to find it.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody else has experienced that, but I've had people that, effectively they'll have parked shopping carts and not know where it is. They'll come back, their cart icon in the upper right-hand corner looks empty, and I'm having to cue them to scroll down on that opening GOPD page so they can see their parked shopping carts.
Okay.
Any way to maybe have GOPD make that cart be visible when you simply open it without having to scroll down?
Yeah, I'm thinking what we could possibly do is, let me talk to Melody about maybe moving the movable banner. In other words, the flash. See if we can move it around where we put the My Shopping Cart space up front and move the banner below that. Maybe that would help out a little bit.
Sure. I don't know if anybody else has encountered that, but we've had it come up multiple times where, once they understand they have to scroll down to find it, it's cool.
Right.
But if you're just letting people go on the website, which I've been able to do to some degree, we seem to have people not seeing their parked shopping carts.
Yeah, I have the same issue here too.
Okay. All right. Let's see if we can't just move that around and move it closer to the toolbar. See if we can actually, I tell you what, maybe we'll try and get a button on the toolbar that says My Shopping Carts or My Open Carts or something like that, and see if we can get it to have an open space there where it's more readily visible. So I'll talk to them about that.
Cool. And then one more piece on the GOPD website. I am really happy, Tom, that you encouraged me to do this. It's been a great move. I do seem to have a challenge with a lot of people complaining about the GOPD site being very slow. And I don't know if anybody else experiences that, but there's that kind of cadence of hit it, wait 1, 2, 3 seconds before stuff cycles through. Is that just a, bandwidth thing with GOPD?
It's a combination of two things. Part of it is the bandwidth on their end. It also has to do with some of that flash that's on there. So that slows it down just a little bit. But then also, depending on what region of the country you're in. So, for example, an office in LA that I've actually had this discussion with them before and asked them to time it compared to an office in New York. LA would be faster, New York would be slightly slower. So it also depends on if your customers, what kind of line they've got coming into their business. If they've got T1 or on up the line from that makes a big difference as well. So it's a joint effort a little bit on the speed.
Sure.
But I'll mention it to them as well and make sure that we're getting the most optimal speed for the cart.
Well, and you know what? That's cool. I actually made a similar reference, and I had a client show me, I hate to say this, but how they could jump on the Staples site and bang, 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 move around quick, come to our site. And, it was a little bit ugly because it was a lot slower.
Right.
But, that's the only thing I've heard any negativity regarding the new site is the speed of it. Everything else has been aces.
Okay, good.
Mike, you told that customer they're going to pay more on the Staples site, right? I mean, that's
yeah.
Or is that
I just didn't want them to go to the Amazon site. Shut up.
Hey, if I can just interject for a second, Tom, to the group, has anybody else from their customer voiced the same concern that Mike Van Meter just voiced? Back there?
We're here.
Yeah, we're still here, Chris.
Yeah, so I'm asking the group, has any of your customers said the same thing that Mike Van Meter's customer has said? Yes or no?
It's
Nope.
Clifford. No, I have not heard that. And we have pretty fast internet around here.
We have a couple that have mentioned it, but they're dealing with it.
Well, again, we'll talk to them and see if we can, make them aware that, we've got speed as an issue here and see what their engineers can come up with.
I've not had the problem, which is why I wanted to ask the question. I haven't had anybody tell me that.
Okay.
You know, it's interesting, Chris. It does seem to be geographic. I mean, we've got clients all across the United States, and we've got clients in Ohio where I've been in there and the site is banging. And then I'll go to another client, big client, good internet, slow GOPD shopping cart. So, not sure.
Okay.
Yep. Now, I will tell you, they do run a system diagnostics weekly as far as speed goes. I do know that. And I can ask them if they have outages in certain parts of the country over another part. So I can talk to them about it. We'll see.
Understood.
Anything else about the shopping cart at that point? Okay, last week I got the fortunate vision of being able to go out to Las Vegas for the PPAI show, and had a great time meeting with different vendors. And it dawned on to me that we really could partner into some promo areas, especially for corporate gifts. And one of them that I'm thinking about and going to try and figure out is the Omaha Steaks people. You've seen their commercials on TV. Well, that's actually a promo item that we can tap into as a corporate gift. There's a lot of times stuff your customers are looking for a gift sent to somebody. Why not put that through us a little bit and see if we can make a little bit of coin? What do you guys think about something, corporate gifts like that, or even other reward type items that we could expand with different promo vendors?
That sounds wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's Clifford. I think the corporate if side of things is a perfectly natural fit, and if we start planting the seeds now, by the time the holiday time comes up, if we come up with some good high-end, unique, non-Me Too things, we can have some good opportunities.
Okay. What we may do is try and start promoting this on a handful of carts to see how it goes and get some people trained on it. So we're going to still be talking to the Omaha Steak people a little bit. So stay tuned about that, and I'll give you an update as see how we can intertwine the two. But I think it's an ideal thing for us to expand our market reach a little bit. Mm-hmm. And there again in BP, we've got to always be forward thinking of some other stuff to sell our customers. While I'm talking about this subject for just a second, how many of you read the newsletter that dropped out yesterday? Anybody catch the Mark McCullough, Mike Van Meter show?
Yes.
I did.
I actually have to read it. Mark called me this morning and was harassing me because I hadn't read it yet. So I am the one guy in the article who has not read it.
Well, Mike, I'll be honest with you. You and Mark got a great thing there. And here's a great opportunity. We all want to expand our business. We all want to do something. We need to do more crossover. For example, Cliff, you're in San Francisco. You've had a CI partner out there that you're trying to meet up with. This is a great opportunity for, if they're not selling BP to their customers, you go after their customers and partner with them to do that. That's what the Indoff system is all about.
Right on, yeah.
Working together. And that's an easy sell.
Nice.
So, all of you that are on this call, I challenge you to work with another partner out of another division, because their customers know who Indoff is, but maybe they don't know that we sell BP, and this is a great chance for you to open that opportunity for them.
And hey, just to chime in real quick, one of the reasons Mark and myself get along well and work together well is we split everything 50-50. So in that context, we're doing a racking job right now. Mark did most of the work. We're splitting it 50-50. We just got done doing a $2,000 screen printing job for T-shirts. I did all the work. We split it 50-50. We have not really shared a lot of business BP product stuff where he's turned me on to his customers and I've started selling him office supplies. That would be a little bit different. But the 50-50 split really seems to keep everybody stimulated because everybody's making money.
Now, Mike, will you actually, if you got BP business, would you actually keep that 50-50 going on repeat orders as well?
No, actually, I guess it depends. You probably have to negotiate that, but BP is so work intensive. You know, if we get a decent sized client and we're doing 20, 30 orders a month, that material handling guy, I don't know, I'd throw him a bone or maybe figure out a split for a certain time frame, but it definitely would not be permanent.
Okay.
I'd have to agree with Mike on that, guys, but I do know that Mike and Mark have a wonderful thing going, and I'd love for other people to pick it up because it makes a huge difference. And Mark pointed out in that article that with the $52,000 of business he got credit for through their joint efforts, put him over the top for his $1 million last year. So there's a lot to be gained from it for all concerned.
Yeah, exactly.
And one other quick piece, just to digress, we've talked about the GOPD shopping cart in Omaha Steaks. The business that I do with Mark is almost all promotional. It's been screen printing, it's been embroidery, it's been golf balls, it's been all kinds of odd things. I don't know that everybody in this conversation is a promo partner, but Omaha Steaks is interesting to me. I'd really like to see a link to promote more traditional promo stuff like embroidery, screen printing. Man, that stuff's wide open and it's big. It's good GP.
I think that's a great idea, Mike. Overall, we need to try and do that. But for some partners, what we would probably recommend you doing is if you put it on your shopping cart and are novice at it, you need to team up with a promo partner in your area or nearest available area, just in case. Because, for example, I know one partner who dove into the promo business, and he had some issues with basically not understanding protocol, for lack of a better word, and basically broke even on some of his business when he could have made 30 and 40%. So it is a learning curve, but it's easier to partner up with somebody. And there's another Indoff partner out there somewhere that will be glad to help you with promo. Until you get on your feet and really get going with it, they'll be glad. That's the great thing about Indoff, that we can bring people together like that. So just keep that in mind if you want to jump in that.
You're right, Tom. There is, I mean, I've been doing it for 4 or 5 years now, and I understand it. But it is not like selling supplies, office supplies at all. And I think you had mentioned we'll be able to maybe have our own carts uniquely customized. So that might be something I would do in addition to the Omaha Steaks piece.
Exactly. So
guys, let me tell you, anybody that talks to me about getting promo access, that's the first thing I tell them, that there are lots of things to be learned, and they will not get an opportunity unless they work with an existing promotional products partner to basically mentor them and get them on board. So I support that from the very beginning right here at corporate.
Yep. So what we can do, though, is that's the great thing about GOPD is what we do on one cart, we don't have to do on the other. And that's where the cafeteria style plan works for your business if you want to take advantage of it that way. Ideally, on the GOPD shopping cart, the main platform that we want to do is as much as possible in our realm of business that affects the end user on the day-to-day operation of their business. So if they're buying this stuff from somebody, why not be buying it from you? So, all right, moving on for the sake of time. Here's kind of what we're going to start working on. Our our beginning of the year goals. Pam and I have been working through a lot of these on the fourth quarter, but they're going to start coming to fruition here pretty soon. We're working on what we call an LPR. It's called a local partner rebate. It's a growth incentive rebate that's going to roll out on April 1st. Mike Dodson has agreed and has gotten the clearance on it, but we can't roll it out until April 1st because of part of our rebate on our other side that we're working on. But this is a great growth rebate. So, for example, 2018 numbers over 2017 numbers. So, for example, Cliff Waldeck in San Francisco, he would qualify for this rebate without any problem because he had 2017 business. So he could get 3 or 5% rebate, based off of him meeting a certain threshold. There is going to be a minimal dollar amount that has to be done annually to receive this. But Cliff, you should have no problem getting to that dollar amount. They're still finalizing what that dollar amount is. As I mentioned, also promo items on the shopping cart. We're going to be working on that, and then some direct marketing pieces as well. How many of you have received the big 11x17 foldover that we did in December?
I
don't
have.
think I saw it.
Okay.
I don't think I received it.
Okay, I think we put it out there on the discussion board that it was available. What I'll do is I'll repost it, and we're getting more printed up for you. And what we'll do is it's a great marketing piece to go to your customers who aren't buying BP from you, and tells a little bit about who we are, what we do. And it's just a nice leave behind flyer that talks about the overall BP business and what all you bring to the table. So what I'll do is I'll send you a snapshot of it and let you know when they're available, and we'll send you some that way.
Great. Thank you.
Does anybody, before I release it to everybody, one last question. Has everybody got your catalogs yet? And I know Pam's probably cringing on me asking this question.
Yes, I am. Thank you very much.
Who's missing catalogs at this point?
I suspect the group that's on here now has all of theirs, but we're sending some stuff out from corporate yet today because we just got the corporate order earlier this week. And so I think anybody that was interested now knows where their order's at, and we're sending them some from corporate now to tide them over until their order comes in. And in some cases, that's another 3 or 4 weeks out, but it doesn't affect anybody that's on the call today.
Okay. All right. That's all I had basically for this week. For this month, to let you know where we're at. Let's open the floor up to discussion. Who's got issues that they want to talk about, or what's going on in your neighborhood?
I'll just jump in real quick. It looks like January, wherever the wood is to knock on, we may end up with our best month I've had in years. And that's a combination of BP sales, but I think we're probably going to have upwards of $15,000 to $18,000 in promo sales this month. It's nice. We're diversified. The GP's higher, and I don't feel like I'm completely reliant on office supplies to make my income anymore.
Making Indoff great again. Awesome.
I'm in the
I
same
just
boat
want to know
as
where my toilet paper is, but not really.
You really got to get a new focus, ma'am.
Need my toilet paper.
You get your priorities straight. What's some other success going on this month?
Yeah, this is Chris, and I landed the largest lighting job that I've landed thus far. and got that order here in January. Hopefully it bills in February. But when it's all said and done, it's well, the first phase is about 160,000, and the second phase would be about close to another 40. So it'll be almost 200,000 from this one customer.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Awesome.
And I've been following this guy for close to 2 years to land it, and but we got it. So
So
yeah,
are you
2018 is
working?
off to a great.
Congratulations.
Are you working with somebody, Chris, that's teaching you how to do it? Because golly, I get asked questions and I'm like, I have no idea. I sort of walked away from the lighting scene.
No, I'm not working with anybody other than the vendors. You know, I asked them, and I mean, this is year number 4 for me as it relates to lighting, and that would be my tip, I guess, if you would. If you want to do lighting, you all have customers that have lights and probably could use your expertise, but you need to spend time with the vendors. You know, they have those weekly webinars, or maybe not weekly, maybe it's bi-weekly there with Always Earth Friendly. That's a good vendor. I know David Pent at High Looms has also had webinars. And then there's other vendors you can talk to as well, just, over the phone or as projects present themselves. A lot of times you might get asked a question, hey, can you do this? And you're not sure, where to go necessarily. Well, I always go back to that strategic vendor list, and I'll call a handful of them and just pose the question to them and see if they can help me. And then if they can help me, then I'm learning right along as they're helping me to be able to solve this customer's problem or provide them the right solution. And so you just keep repeating that process as you do things, and then eventually you start getting the same question that you've already been asked, and so on and so forth. And so then you kind of know where to go, and you can talk even a little more intelligently, and those types of things. But yeah, it's a learning curve. I'm still learning in that sector for sure. But I'm making some traction. I'm happy about that.
Hey, Chris.
Awesome.
Chris, this is Mike.
Yeah.
What do you do if you don't have a big brain like you?
Mike, you need to stop saying these things.
Chris, you're a great example, man, of just getting it done and working hard. I'm excited for your success.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else got anything going on? All right. Let's talk about.
Hey, I just wanted to throw a quick one in.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to remark, we're talking about adding things to the GOPD website. Anybody have any thoughts about having the Box Partners catalog on there?
That's packing supplies, right, Mike?
Yeah, it is. It's just it's a great way to compete with Uline.
Yeah.
Uline's in every one of my accounts, and they charge a lot of freight. That's what Uline does. Box Partners, you can have similar pricing, similar freight, but you can fulfill orders and get some of that business away from Uline.
Mike, why don't we send me a link so I can look at it and see how hard it'll be to upload?
Gotcha. I'll get it to you later today.
That'd be good. Let's look at it. Obviously, we don't really want to take away any business from SP or Ascendant that we get rebate money on, but I mean, if it's competitive and we can make more money and it makes sense, then absolutely we want to do it.
And I will share information with you. They just got a lot bigger toolbox of items to sell than we get from SP. I'm not sure about the United side, but I'll send you some info.
That'd be great. Okay. Since we got a couple people from corporate on, are we having any issues with people at corporate that we need to talk about?
He's just starting trouble now, but seriously, feel free to speak your minds.
Yeah, it's all crickets now. What'd you say, Jeff? Jeff Garlick had something to
Throwing me under the bus, huh?
say. Well, I'll
Just
tell you.
remember, you had your chance, gang.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this and stuff, and I'm gonna brag on her for just a second because she's probably been wanting to kill me a couple different times. Allie Coleman has really been effective on this HP program and keeping up to date, keeping up track of everything when helping me hold their feet to the fire. So, Allie, thank you very much for all your hard work on that.
She says thank you.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah. Tom, I'll say thank you on behalf of her, and thank you guys for being patient with her. Sorry, gang, they're doing a fire alarm test here.
Great.
Thank you for being patient with Allie. She's learning, and she's doing her best to be the best partner support that she can for all of you. So thank you guys for that.
Well, she's doing great. All right, does anybody have anything else?
No.
Pam, mute your line.
Star 6?
No, the big green
Find
microphone. There you go. Okay, well, if we don't have anything else and stuff, we'll just go ahead and sign off there. But try and take advantage of everything we've talked about today. Get into those reports, know what your business is doing. And, you know, if everybody's having a great January, I hope we have a great February as well. And we'll talk next month. Anybody need me? Email me or call me.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
All right, thank you. Everybody have a great day. Bye-bye.
Cool, Tom. Thanks.